Okay, I want to do a little bit of social commentary today and not an Ilyenkov video. Ilyenkov videos are coming for sure because we continue reading his works, which I love. But today I just wanted to rant a little bit about the Puritanism culture, just as I often do, and how prevalent it is in American ideology. It is so apparent to me that the part of culture that Americans actually really do cherish on all levels, despite them calling themselves progressive or conservative, left wing or right wing, it is this deep seated desire for purity, for being good, and for being acceptable and appropriate, which is on the surface very understandable and actually can be read as pro-social. However, being involuntarily a part of the culture that has spread globally, Puritanism is a very specific brand of purism. It is when you are so preoccupied with a feeling like you adhere to certain right, moral types of conduct that you actually fail to examine the actual reality, the actual objective truth, which does exist and which is fathomable. But instead, you create these social norms and you start policing yourself and others in order to feel like you are a good person. It's all about feeling good about yourself. And I've already talked about feel-good politics on many occasions. And I do unwittingly sometimes participate in this when I start looking up artists or musicians or anybody who I may hear or see or be exposed to and enjoy. I start looking them up to check their politics and to see what kind of people they are, which I don't think is the healthiest way of dealing with art. And I'm not only talking about art, a lot of the things we like to check, like brands, etc. And yes, to us, to the way we feel, it may actually bring some sense of relief when we find out that the person or the company or the brand that we are enjoying is not terrible to the environment or the people. But ultimately, we need to remind ourselves that this may take up too much space and time in our lives. And of course, we are absolutely free to make our choices when we enjoy little bits and pieces here and there of art or media. But we've got to remember that us not participating in certain trendy things or fashionable things or certain social tendencies in general does not make us better than other people, does not make us purer than other people. This is the infamous proverbial pathway that leads to hell. The road to hell is paved with good intentions is exactly about this. It is not your intentions and it is not just your ideal. It is what it is you do with the time you are allocated on this earth. And we are very limited, just as I always insist upon, we're very limited in our capacity to actually change our objective reality, especially individually. So I continuously advocate for collective organizing because that's the only way. That's the only way out of this capitalist hellscape. Making our individual choices is still going to be a part of our everyday lives. There's nothing wrong in wanting to not support people who advocate for something that you are finding morally objectionable. And I do that still. I still do that. I cannot enjoy certain aspects of art because of the history that it may connect to or because of how problematic some of the people, the artists are. And I will never, however, judge people based off of their likes and dislikes, because this is, and I talked about snobbishness or snobbyism in many different areas of fandoms and art, etc. And it is generally a waste of our time. We should be looking for points of connection, not points of disagreement. We shouldn't be seeking out intentionally the way we differ from other people and the way we are superior to other people, because this is another type of supremacy. So how does it all tie back to Puritanism? Puritanism is a system, a moral system that is based off of proving yourself by putting others down. This is what's at the basis of it. The whole manifest destiny, the whole blessed and cursed people, all of these principles that started off as reformist and Protestant, they have long gone rotten. They have long outlived their necessity, and they became this very outdated and very archaic, anachronistic way of viewing the world. And the simplistic dichotomies that it provides us with, they're not sufficient for an appropriate dialectical analysis of the world. Moreover, there is no individual without the collective. We enjoy what we enjoy because we are brought up with a certain type of circumstances, with a certain type of an environment where we have no say in what it is we're exposed to. This is why I think education and the upbringing of the young should be the priorities for us communists, because we should be teaching the young people around us that it isn't about who's a good person, who's a bad person. We only are supposed to organize with the good people and not the bad people, and these are the traits of the good people, la la la. No, this is not what we should preoccupy ourselves with. We should teach ourselves and others, young people included, discernment and dialectical analysis. We should not shy away from explaining dialectics to younger people as well, because they're not as complex in their base, in the foundation. The dialectical logic is embedded in everything we do or are exposed to in our daily lives. It is just that we're not taught to look at the world dialectically. What we are taught is formal logic, simple dichotomies, this is good, this is bad, etc. So instead of preoccupying ourselves with judging ourselves or others based off of what little things we enjoy, we should instead seek out how we can change the base of production so that the ideal doesn't replicate itself. Because again, everything goes back to material circumstances. If we do not change the way the economic production is, we are never going to be able to amend or mend the ideal. The ideal is going to follow, not automatically, not magically. It is going to purposefully, systematically change and be changed by the humans participating in the productive processes. So this is just my little rant for today. Let me know what you think. I hope you have a great day today. Consider supporting me on Patreon. Even though I'm thinking of maybe moving away from Patreon, if you are a subscriber on Patreon, maybe leave a comment or send me a message and we can talk, because I'm considering my options. But meanwhile, you can still support me on Patreon. Of course, take care of yourself and your community first. Subscribe to me on all the other social media accounts, even though I don't do much there. And I'll talk to you sometime later. Thank you.